Peace. What's good? Welcome to Hip Hop Album Review Part 38. This is gonna be called the Coverless edition. What I mean by that is that, usually when I show my albums, like I show like the booklet. Well, these albums I don't have the booklets for them. I just have the actual CDs. So and what I mean by that is like I'm gonna show you the CD. Oh, this is this album, but the reviews are still gonna be the same. You know what I mean? But let's start with the first album of the day. Is Foxy Brown's second album, Chyna Doll, released in 1999. This album, in a nutshell, to keep it real with you, this album was kind of, in my opinion, whack. It was like her wackest album. I already did a review on her first album, L.O.X, that was released in '96. And I did a review on her third album, Broken Silence. And in my opinion, those two albums were my favorite albums from her. This album, like I said, came out in '99. 99 was like 98 and 99 was kind of like the heyday for Def Jam. Like that was like, those 2 years were like big years for Def Jam. You know what I mean? With this album, she kind of went in a different route. Like she kind of went more for a commercial sound. She went different ways. Like she has like a southern track that features she has a song called Bitches with Attitude with M.A.F.I.A from No Limit fame and Gangsta Boo. She was affiliated with 3 Mafia, so that was something different. Whatchamacallit? The singles this album was known for, it only came out with 2 singles. Hot Spot, which they have a video for, and I Can't. Like I said, you would have to be a fan of Foxy Brown to really appreciate this album. I believe this album is actually out of print, so if you can find this album, go cop it. This is Foxy Brown Chyna Doll, released in 1999. Cop it if you can find it. Next album is the Geto Boys. Excuse me, sorry about that. The Geto Boys, The Resurrection, released in 1986. This is their 6th album. For those who don't know who Geto Boys are, they're a group from Houston, Texas, which consists of members of Scarface, Bushwick Bill, Willie D, and I believe that's it. They got their start back in 1986. They came out with a couple albums. Their most breakthrough single was My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, which is on the 1992 album, which I don't have. We Can't Be Stopped. I will look for the album, will cop it. I did a review on Bushwick Bill's second album, Phantom the Rapper, and I got this album, Geto Boys, The Resurrection. Pretty solid album. If you're a fan of Geto Boys, you know what to expect. If you're a fan of Scarface's The Diary album that came out in 1994, as far as production wise, you would definitely enjoy this album. Brad Jordan, aka Scarface, makes his own beats, as well as Mike Dean, things of that nature. If you enjoyed that album, this Diary album, you will definitely enjoy this album. The only single this album came out with was The World Is a Ghetto. That was like the I guess it's like the only single that came off the album. When I was looking up on this album on Wikipedia, the song Still, which I'll post on the link if I can find it, was playing. If you guys seen the movie Office Space, that scene where Peter, Samir, and Michael, if you guys seen Office Space, if you haven't seen it, go cop it. Go on Netflix or rent it or whatever. Classic movie by Mike Judge. But anyways, in that scene, the song Still was played in the scene where it was breaking the HP, the LaserJet printer. That printer that they had, that was in the field, and it was breaking that printer into pieces. That classic scene was definitely that song Still on this album was featured, was a song playing in the background. It was featured on this album. But this is a dope album. This is Geto Boys, The Resurrection, released in 1986. This album is actually out of print, so if you can find it, go cop it. And like I said before, I'll post down the link, the name of the songs that's playing in the background, because a lot of people, I know a lot of people has been asking me for those for the you know, the name of the songs and stuff like that. All right, next album is Junior Mafia's first album, Conspiracy, released in 1995. For those who don't know who Junior Mafia is, they're a group from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. They were affiliated with Biggie Smalls. You guys know who Biggie Smalls is. You know, the members consist of Lil C's, Klepto, Banga, Nino Brown, Dario Haran, Biggie of course, Little Kim, Chico Del Vec, Blake C, Capone, and Bugsy. Junior Mafia, they're still active, but I mean they haven't put out an album in a couple years. But in my opinion, this is their best album. If you're a fan of Ready to Die, Biggie's Ready to Die, then you would definitely enjoy this album. Some of the beats are a little bit more darker. This album definitely has you know, that street shit. It's definitely street. You would definitely enjoy this album. It's definitely 95. It definitely has that mid-90s feel to it. Singles album is known for Players Anthem, I Need You Tonight with Leah, and Get Money, which is like one of my favorite singles off the album. If not my favorite single off the album, but like the real gems are like off on the singles. You know what I mean? There's this one song called Runs with Junior Mafia. Oh my god, that's like one of the best songs off the album. Jamal of Def Squad fame is featured on that song. He raps shop on that song. I'll post down a link to that song as well. It's definitely their most successful album. Like I said, I already said the singles. Unfortunately, this album is actually out of print, so if you can find this album, definitely go cop it. They released other albums like let me see what the other albums they released. Give me 1 second. Riot Music, which I don't have, but I did hear it. It wasn't that good. Because you know, like I said, you know, the beats that they were using was like, you know, from like 2005, you know what I mean? And it's like the heat makers and like, you know, like that sound that was going on in New York back in 2005, you know. It just wasn't as good as this album. But if you could find this album, if you're a fan of Ready to Die, if you're a fan of mid-90s hip-hop, East Coast hip-hop, you would definitely enjoy Conspiracy by Junior Mafia. This is, like I said, Junior Mafia, Conspiracy, released in 1995. Go copy if you can find it. Then we got my dude, Nature, For All Seasons, released in 2000. For those who know who Nature is, he's an MC from Queensbridge, New York. Queensbridge, Queens, New York. You guys should know him. He was affiliated with Nas, his association with Nas. You know, he was part of the whole firm, and you know that whole controversy with the firm. Like, you know, originally the members of the firm were Nas, AZ, Dr. Dre, Foxy Brown, and Nature. But Nature was Cormega was on the firm, but Nature was in jail while they was forming the album, you know, forming the group, excuse me. And Nas, I mean not Nas, but like his manager, Steve Stout, was responsible for replacing Cormega on the album, replacing Cormega with Nature, and that caused a lot of controversy. And Cormega released a single called, an underground single called Fuck Nas and Nature, and you know, things of that nature. Fast forward to 2000, and by the way, that Firm album, I don't have it and I don't want it. I didn't like that album. I mean, some people might like that album. I didn't like that album. You know, that's just my opinion. But fast forward to 2000, he released this album, For All Seasons, excuse me. Dope album. The only single this album is known for is The Ultimate High, which I believe they have a video for. It's definitely a dope album. If you like Queensbridge hip hop like I do, you from like the early 2000s, like, you know, East Coast hip hop, late 90s, early 2000s hip hop, you would definitely enjoy this album. I feel like Nature is definitely an underrated MC. He definitely puts it in. He puts in work. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of slept on Nature. I didn't like Nature. I don't know why. Like, there was something about him that I didn't like. I feel like, I guess like his voice, or like, you know, I don't know. It was something about Nature I didn't like. But then when I heard this album, I was like, yo, this shit is crap. You know what I mean? And I started listening to his other stuff, and you know, he just, you know, he definitely puts in work. And that's it. This is Nature for All Seasons, released in 2000. Definitely go copy if you can find it, because it's actually out of print as well. Next album is Camp Lo's debut album, Uptown Saturday Night, released in 1997. You guys should know who Camp Lo is, but for those who don't know who Camp Lo is, they're a hip hop group or hip hop duo from the Bronx, New York. They got put on by Ski Beats, or Ski, lack of a better word, or Ski Beats, to make it more easier for everybody that people know them as. They got their start back in 1995. Like I said, they got put on by Ski Beats. You know, they made a song called "Feeling It," and you guys should know, Jay-Z has that same song, "Feeling It," that was on Reasonable Doubt. Well, apparently that song, "Feeling It," I think I explained that on the Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, I did, but I'm gonna explain it anyways for those that didn't see that review. Jay-Z has a song called "Feeling It," and originally that song was Camp Lo's song, and apparently Jay-Z, well, in 1995 and 96, Ski Beats was in the middle of recording this album, and as well as Reasonable Doubt. And when, you know, Ski Beats was making on beats, Jay-Z would hear certain beats, and then like it would be a beat that either he's working on for Jay, or an album that he's working for Jay on for Camp Lo. And "Feeling It" being one of Camp Lo's songs, Jay-Z was pretty much jacked the beat. He's like, nah, I want that album, I want that beat. You know what I mean? And so he took that beat and, you know, put it on his album. I'll post down a link to the original demo version of the Camp Lo version. The quality is kind of rough, but I kind of like that version better. It sounds better, and the drums are a little bit more harder. Definitely, I'll post that down the link for that. But like I said, this was released in 1997. Singles I was known for, there's 3 singles. Cooley High was the first single, which came out in 95. Lucchini was just the second single, and Black Nostalgic, and those are the only singles off the album. What I like about this album, it was quite different from the album that what you would normally hear from in the 90s, because a lot of dudes in the 90s was using a lot of you know, jazz samples and stuff like that. Not to say that they weren't using that on this album, but they was kind of paying homage to the whole 70s vibe to it, like the way they dressed, the slangs, the whole vibe of the album. It was something different. It was paint, you know what I mean? And I kind of feel like Jay-Z kind of jacked their stilo from them, you know what I mean? Kind of stole the style from them. That's where he got his style from the Reasonable Doubt from them, you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I know a lot of Jay-Z stands, I should say, is gonna hate on me. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you're just a hater." No, I'm just seeing how I see it, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just facts, you know what I mean? But that's not to take away anything from Jay-Z or from the Reasonable Doubt. I'm just stating the facts, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, very dope album. This is a hip hop classic. I feel like Camp Lo is one of the most underrated hip hop groups of all time. They definitely deserve more props, more listens. This is definitely groundbreaking in my opinion. If you could find this album, go copy, because I believe it's actually out of print as well. And that's it. This is Camp Lo, Uptown Saturday Night, released in 1997. Next album is Made Men, classic limited edition released in 1999. For those who don't know who Made Men is, pretty much they're Almighty RSO, but they changed their name from Almighty RSO to the Made Men. That's it, plain and simple. I did a review on their first album, Doomsday Forever RSO. I did a review on that. I forgot which review I did that on. I did that a while back. But like I said, Made Men. So you already know about Almighty RSO. They, you know, that's Benzino's group, as well as Benzino's group. The only single this album has is Is It You, and Made Men also has a song called Tommy's Theme, which was also featured on the Belly soundtrack, and that song's featured DMX, and that was a big song back in like 98, 99 when that movie came out, you know what I mean? If you have the soundtrack, you guys will know what I'm talking about. I believe that song is actually featured on that album as well. But this album's okay. You know, it's a typical, I guess, late 90s bad boy. It suffers a bad boy syndrome. Has its gangster tracks and it has its like party filler tracks, you know, things of that nature. This album's okay. It's hit or miss. It only has like one song that I actually like, you know what I mean? But this is Made Men, classic limited edition, released in '99. This album's actually out of print, so if you can find it, go cop it. The next album is L.L. Skratch's second album, Keep It Movin', released in 1997. I believe, like, I do have the cover for this album. I don't know where it's at, but nonetheless, here's the album, the second album. I did a review on this first album, Creep With Me, which in my opinion was the best album. This is leaving off of this album, of that album, released 3 years later. This album wasn't as successful as their first album. This album only came out with 2 singles. It was Me and the Click and Yo Love. The producers on the album, the LG Experience, which is Easy Mo B's brother, Crazy C, Mayhem, DJ Skratch, Muffler, and Shack Dog. Definitely, if you're a fan of L.L. Skratch, definitely go cop this album. This album's actually out of print, so if you can find this album, definitely go cop it. This is L.L. Skratch, Keep It Movin', released in 1997. Then we got the last album I'm gonna do is Terror Squad, the album. This is their debut album, released in 1999. For those who know who Terror Squad is the group that was founded by Fat Joe, which consisted of members of, I'm gonna give you, because even though Terror Squad is still intact today, I'm gonna give you the original members that was part of the group. You know, based on it, that was featured on this album. The members consist of Big Pun, Fat Joe, Cuban Link, Triple Sace, Prospect, Armageddon, Remy Ma, Hold Your Head Up, and Tony Sunshine. Like I said, this was released in 1999. Pretty solid album. If you're a fan of Don Cartagena, if you're a fan of Big Pun's first album, you would definitely enjoy this album. Not to say like the beats were dark, but it still had that street feel to it, you know what I mean? If you're a fan of, like, you know, like I said, if you're a fan of Big Pun's first album, you're a fan of Don Cartagena, and a little bit of Mobb Deep, you would definitely enjoy this album. As far as like the soundscape, I should say, you know what I mean? It only came out with 2 singles. The singles are What You Gonna Do and Tell Me What You Want, which I believe they both have videos for. I know What You Gotta Do has video. Pretty solid album. I believe this album was actually out of print, so if you could find this album, definitely go cop it. Like I said, rest in peace, Big Pun. We lost him back in 2000. It's crazy. It's been 12 years since he passed away. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. He was definitely one of the illest MCs of all time. I'm not gonna say Latin MCs. He was definitely one of the illest illest MCs of all time. Excuse me. And that's it for the hip hop album review. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. I know it's kind of half-assed. You gotta excuse me, but stay tuned for more. And thank you for all the comments on my beat video. Doc's Gone Mad. Thanks for all the comments. You know who you are. Much respect. Peace.